Hello, I'm James Thompson and I'm here to present my game Parcube. It's a game where you place a red cube that jumps on and off of objects to reach the goal. Let me just show you the game real quick. Before that, here's the main menu, exit button, start game. Once you start game, we'll load the next scene, which is level 1, or the first level, or the only level in this case. So you can use left and right to move, and you can press space to jump. Once you jump, your jump state will become true or false. I can't remember which order it was. But basically, you can't jump again until you touch an object or land on an object. There's coins in the game. Once you collect them, they'll disappear and they will add 10 points to your score, which can be done for fun. You have to wall jump and jump over objects to continue onwards. Use that momentum to progress. The whole point of the game is to reach the goal at the end of the stage, which is a massive yellow pillar. If you fall down into the pits below, you have to restart the game, as you'll lose, and you don't want to do that. You want to win and reach this pillar right here. Right, so once you get that, once you reach it, once you collide with it, it will load in this scene saying congrats, you finished the game. And once you do that, you can click return to main menu to return here and play the game again, or either exit. But let's talk about the code and stuff. So each of those buttons have scripts attached to them: exit game and load level. Let me load the first scene. There's the coin object up there. It has a tag called coin. That'll come up later though. And something called score script, which both the score text object have, which you saw here, and the player character have. Oh wait, it's in game scene. As you can see here, it has player movement and player script. Score script, which will come in handy in a second. And here is the kill zone if you collide with it. There's multiple around the levels, as seen here, and stuff, just in case you ever touch them. Right, so let's talk about player movement. So here is the scripts for the game. Here's movement speed, player jump, and active jump. These are basically variables to allow you to move and jump. Well, speed modifiers and stuff, and height modifiers. Active jump, go on to that later. Talk about this first. So if you input the right arrow key, the script that this is attached to will change the object's position to the right, well, somewhere in the right, and timesing it by whichever variables you got, so movement speed and time according to delta time and stuff, by timesing it by vector free dot right. It does the same thing for the left arrow key, but instead of vector free right, it's vector free left, but they have the same results, these algorithms and stuff. But here's the main thing. If you input the space key, if you have an active jump, which is equal to false, it will basically search for the rigid body of the opponent and it will get it. And once it does, the one it's attached to, once it does, it will increase. It will basically set the object to jump up, basically, by adding force. Once that does happen, just times it by that to change it to your liking, to how high you want it. And once that happens, you set the state to true. When an active jump becomes true, you can't jump until you collide with an object, which is explained here. So once it becomes false, you can jump again. And when it's false, this will carry out. So it's essentially creating a loop of constant jumping, which is used for the wall jumping and stuff. and this is essentially just called the player controller. So here's a script for both displaying the score and deleting the coins and adding score to that. So here's your initialized variables, player score for adding the thing to the score, and text score for displaying it. Now you basically, it gets the component for the text object and the level 1 scene stuff, and here the player score is set to 0 so that that's always the default value when you load that scene, because if it wasn't set, you'd always have the same score every single time. No, you'd start with the last score you got every single time you load that scene, basically creating kind of just endless scores. But this part is for the player right here. Once you collide with an object with the tag coin, as I showed you, it will destroy that object and the player score will increase by 10. Well, it will be incremented by 10 for every single time you touch that object, or a object with the tag coin. And that's used to display the score right here. So as you can see, with every single coin and that, it'll basically just display that with text score.text. The rest of these ones are usually just loading scene. The rest of these scripts are loading scenes and exiting applications. This one's for when you touch the kill zone, it'll reset the level. Load main menu, that's for the last button and the last scene. When you click that, this one basically, when you touch that pillar, it'll load that scene with that button. And load level, that's what happens when you press the start game button in the main menu, as I showed you at the very start. And this is what happens when you click exit, it'll basically close the application. Most of these are just scene management stuff aside from these two scripts, but I should probably talk about what I could have improved in this game now. What I could have improved in this game, I could have added like a lot more variety in like character shapes, and well, not character shapes, shapes to use, like falling platforms, triangles, more mechanics. Like, my game feels kind of empty, if you know what I mean. It's not mechanically difficult, which I wish I could have made something more impressive. Another issue I've had with this game is that that there's too much like jump force if you keep jumping off of an object. Like, you'll see there, sometimes that can become like too fast, like that. That's a bug that I can't really figure out how, but if I could, I would totally try and get that under, but it's been a massive problem. But yeah, like, I wish I could have just added more fun stuff, like enemies, like more ways to lose the game, more variety in general, and I wish I could have added like some parallaxing backgrounds to make the game more easier to look at, along with these shapes, because I was kind of reluctant to use Unity's inbuilt assets, but I've learned that I really should take advantage of those, and it's gonna cost me. Well, it won't cost me, but I've basically learned that I should use what I can, basically, to the best of my abilities. But yeah, that's all I really can talk about, and thanks for listening. I hope you don't think my thing's shit. I mean, terrible.